If you've been hustling and it feels like you're not at rest, even when you're trying to take a break, then you might be falling victim to the Zeigarnik effect. The Zeigarnik effect. Now, what is the Zeigarnik effect? We'll get back to that. But before we do, let me tell you about a waiter. But before that, let me explain to you that this video is all about why you can't focus and how working hard is actually making you less efficient when you're actually trying to get things done. And you should probably take a break. No, sincerely, like take a break right now. Take a deep breath. Slow down. My name is Michael, and on this channel, I break down how to get more stuff done and become fully self-expressed. Stop thinking about all the things that you want to get done or that you have to get working on, the problems that you haven't solved yet. Be here in this moment. It's hard, right? To actually put a pause on life and relax. Now, what about all the things that you have accomplished? Either yesterday, today, last week, last year. Do you remember those? It's a bit harder. Weird. To keep it simple, Blum Zeigarnik, I think I'm mispronouncing this incredibly, but it's a German scientist from the 1920s. Basically, servers have this weird ability. Basically, when they are taking an order, they're able to remember that order super duper well, 100%, and then as soon as they deliver it to the table, it's gone. It's like evaporated from their memory. And she went on to discover that this is something that happens for us humans, that basically it's much easier for us to remember what hasn't been completed yet versus the things that have, which is why when you're trying to take a break, if you've been working on things and they're not quite done yet, then it becomes incredibly hard to actually unplug. Because instead of taking breaks, people are actually just waiting for their work to start again so they can get more done, but then they're not really rested because they've been thinking about doing work instead of resting. And then when they're doing work, sometimes they're like, oh, when can I take a break? And then it kind of this vicious cycle back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, and the Zeigarnik effect. I don't know if you're familiar with this sort of analogy, but basically anxiety comes up for people when there's something in the future that we're worried about. And depression comes up from when we're thinking about something from the past. If you get anxious like I do, then listen closely and I'll say it again. Take a break. But more importantly, be present in that break. Being present, that is the hardest part. I was pretty lucky to learn about this years ago. I don't exactly even remember when, but sometime in college, I took a personal development course or reading something. It made me realize how much I was always worried about being somewhere where I wasn't. The best example I have of this is like someone texts you, right? Or you're texting back and forth with your sweetheart, someone that you got the vibes with, and then you text them, but they don't respond. And then instead of going on with the rest of your day, doing whatever it is that you need to do, you start kind of just thinking about like, where are they? What are they doing? What are they up to? Why haven't they responded? Is it something that I said? Is it me? And we go down this rabbit hole of worries instead of being present. It's the same thing with our creative projects and the work that we're trying to get done or the business that we're trying to grow. We care about that thing so much. We care about that creative self-expression so much that we lose ourselves when we're not doing it, right? We get very unpresent just thinking about the work that we're trying to get done or the project that we're trying to create. And so this part takes practice, being where you are with the people that you are. If you're going for a walk, be on the walk. If you're taking a break and watching Netflix, watch Netflix. Enjoy the show. Not worried or anxious about all the things that you wanted to do. Here's the key. Wanted to do that. Inherently, it's in the past. Something you wanted to do. Something that you want to do is in the future. So then again, you're left everywhere but the present. Get present. Be where you are. Yesterday, I took a day off. I was very purposeful. I was like, for the majority of today, I'm not gonna worry about the work that I need to do. I'm not going to worry about the client projects that I have going on. I'm not going to worry about this very YouTube video that I'm trying to create. I'm just going to relax. So I sat on the couch, watched Money Heist with my partner, and then a little bit later we made some music, which is why there's all this creativity out here. And it was such a great day. And when I went to sleep, I was rejuvenated, right? I feel really good today. And that's because I gave my mind a true break yesterday. So here are the 3 tips that I've got for you to stay present and also to separate out your relaxation from your working times. Number 1, schedule it off. In a bustling village stood a tailor shop owned by Eli, a tailor known for his exquisite craftsmanship. All throughout the land went to him to get their clothes tailored. Eli prided himself on his exquisite craftsmanship and that he would never take a day off, believing that this constant labor was the key to his success. However, months turned to years and years turned to decades, and Eli found himself overwhelmed and burnt out. His stitches became uneven, his designs lost their charm, and the customers started to notice. One day, a wise old woman went into the shop and went to Eli and said, "Eli, even the sharpest needle needs to be put away to protect its point." Eli sat there for a moment, taking her words to heart. Eli started to schedule days off for himself. He initially struggled. The urge to work was strong, but he did it anyway. And soon, he found that those breaks rejuvenated him. His creativity flourished, and he sowed with new vigor for life and for his creativity, for his art. And after doing this for a number of weeks and months, improving, allowing his creativity to flourish, feeling that rejuvenation, the customers saw it. And every time that he would come back from his day off, there would be a line waiting for him. So scheduling time off is the key to making sure that you actually take time off. It gives, again, your brain this little time nook in order to actually be freed up. And a secondary important piece is, well, what do I do with that time, or how do I make sure that I relax or rest? And that, again, has to do with the time nook. But in this case, it's just a nook. If you're a freelancer or a nomad or a creator, then it's very possible that you are creating a lot of your work inside of your room. And this is a dangerous thing to go about, because you basically train your body to exist in a certain environment in a certain way. And so on your scheduled time off, whether that's a whole day or just a couple hours in the evening, you want to make sure that you create an environmental space where you can really exist there in relaxation mode versus in working mode. So what I like to do, I really love making sure that I have a co-work, or I go to coffee shops when I want to actually get work done for my clients and for things, I guess, to be more productive. And then I like to create a little nookish area over here to create and get relaxed and vibe out. And I want to share about a tool. I think it's awesome. It's called Arc. If you're in like this productivity space, you probably have heard of it. But basically what's really nice about Arc, it's a web browser, but it has little space, what they call spaces, so that you can separate out your client space from your relaxation space or your creativity space. And so I know me, I'm a nomad here, digital nomad, and I have clients all over the place. So I work on my computer a lot. I edit these videos, I make music. It all happens on my computer. So it's very important that when you're working on your computer a lot for both work and relaxation, that you tie them together with separate spaces so that you can kind of have a working setup and then you have a relaxation setup. And lastly, do less. Focus down on one priority at a time. And you can think of yourself as a cup of water. I have to say, you're a pretty tall glass of water. Yeah. Okay. But basically, work on one big project at a time. If you're working on 10 different projects and you're a single glass of water, you gotta share all your water between all the different glasses. Makes it more challenging. But if you just take all of your water and you put it into one cup, you'll have more of that cup filled faster. That's the theory anyway. You put it into practice however you feel is right. If you're a bit overwhelmed and don't know what to pick, then I highly recommend watching this video right here where I go over my 2 or 3 step process for overcoming overwhelm and getting things done. Thank you. Subscribe to the channel for a hoo-ha. Go ahead and write in the comments, I am the king of my own life.